Hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. Okay. Well, maybe that intro was a little off the hook, but I'm trying to make a point here. RV black tanks do not have to be scary. They don't have to be scary. And we've run into so many people, especially new to the RV lifestyle, or who have been traveling for a couple years, and they just won't use the black tank, won't use the bathroom. They go to the facilities in the campground because they're afraid of what might happen if they use it. Well, look, we've been traveling for almost 10 years now. We've never, ever had an issue with our black or gray tanks. Never had an issue, because there's some steps that you should do to make sure that they work properly. So today I've got 9 tips to be able to give you that will help you a lot in maintaining that black tank. One of the great things about upgrading your mattress by Brooklyn Bedding at RVmattress.com, they have virtually a size of mattress for just about any type of RV that you may have. It doesn't matter if you've got something small or large. Bunks, doubles, queens, kings, they have a size and a comfort level that fits most people's sleeping habits. And that's what we have here today in Julie's camper. This is a bunk model, but this is their master bedroom. The bedroom's a little bit small. Let me just show you what it looks like. It's still going to be very, very easy to swap out this mattress with a good, high-quality Brooklyn Bedding mattress. Even though this is a bit smaller space, this does have a queen-size bed that's in it. And one thing I want you to notice is we have end tables here that we have to be concerned about the height. And this is a Dream Foam Hybrid mattress. This has the coils in it. This is a premium sleep. It is a 10-inch thick mattress is what we ordered for the bed. Now, this is going to be a huge improvement. Julie, what's the sleep like on this?
It's definitely not a high quality sleep.
It's not a high quality. It's only about 4 to 5 inches of foam, and it's really hard. And again, you've got plywood that's under here, and we're going to get rid of this thing and put in a good quality mattress. So let's get this hard thing out of here and see if we can't make some improvements. It is so simple to be able to install a Brooklyn Bedding mattress inside your RV. Just simply put the box on the platform, pull the mattress out of the box, cut the plastic off carefully, watch the mattress expand within seconds, and then it's ready to sleep on within minutes. No off-gassing, just a great mattress.
Oh man.
No, the amazing thing, minutes to take it out of the box, place it here on the platform, it expands within seconds. What I like, there's zero odor to it. There's no off-gassing. Did you see Julie's expression when she sat on it? It's just immediately, oh man, this is such an incredible bed. It's just got the coils. It's got multiple layers of foam that's in it. It is just a substantial upgrade. And this is not the most expensive mattress that they have. This is third down in the line. You would never know it from the comfort level that you receive with this mattress. This is going to make a huge improvement, isn't it, Julie?
I cannot wait. I'm so excited about it.
And hubby doesn't even know about it yet. He's going to be excited with this new mattress. Aside from the amazing comfort of these mattresses, doesn't matter if you're a back, side, or stomach sleeper, the sleep quality is fantastic. And the benefits just don't stop there. 120-night sleep trial, 10-year warranty on the mattress, free shipping, made in Arizona. Well, I would like to thank Brooklyn Bedding Mattress at RVmattress.com for sponsoring today's video and providing this mattress for our evaluation. And if you'd like one of these great quality mattresses for your RV, regardless of the type of the RV you have, you'll find a size and a comfort level that meets your needs. It's so simple. Go out to RVmattress.com/I Love RV Life. Select the mattress that you want, the sleep comfort style you want. Down in the bottom, you'll see a little chat function if you have some questions, and they'll guide you through the purchase process to make sure you get a comfortable mattress that meets your specific needs. And here's something very important. At checkout, enter I Love RV Life code and get 25% off of your mattress. Well, thank you so much to Brooklyn Bedding at RVmattress.com for sponsoring today's video. Let's start with number 1. Just take care of your black tank. Well, look, there's a couple things that you can do to take care of your black tank. One, I strongly recommend using an RV marine style toilet paper. Look, I get flack about this all the time, but I'm just going to share with you, it works. And there's different grades and different capabilities of these papers. Several years ago, I actually did a test where I took several different types of paper, everything from what you buy at the dollar store to double ply residential down to different grades of RV, and I got a ton of flack when I did that. Oh, you rigged the test. Actually, I didn't. And what I found is that the RV paper, the RV marine paper by Scott's works the best. Now, I've had people that says, look, the single ply Scott's residential that you buy at Walmart or your grocery store is the same as the RV. I tested it, and I don't think so. I've had people say, I've worked on the line and they both run off the same line. I just can't. I've tried and tried and tried to duplicate it, and the single ply Scott's in the residential is not the same as the single ply Scott's that you get for RV and marine. It breaks down quick. And here's where you really benefit from that. Some folks will say, well, I use a septic tank style RV paper. Well, that's good. You got months for it to break down. We in the RV lifestyle usually have days or maybe not even a week or so, and that's where these papers break down quickly. The RV by Scott's paper breaks down really, really fast. You can use it that night or that morning a couple hours later. It may not break down completely, but it will start shredding and disassembling itself. As if you've got an elbow and you can see it dumping, it'll start coming apart really, really quick. But it's comfortable. It stays together while you're using it. I think that's a big benefit. If you use a household and you've never had a problem, awesome. I'm happy for you. But I've had too many people say I was using a household paper, and guess what? It ended up clogging, or I had a poo dam, and it took me forever to be able to break it. And if you've had to break up a poo dam, I've helped people do that, and it is an ugly, nasty, scary mess, especially if that thing is, really full, and now the toilet's full and won't flush. Breaking it up just makes a terrible mess. So I'd strongly recommend using that. Second, use an enzyme. There's a couple that I use. You can use this product by Unique. This is a liquid. I've had great success with that. It seems to work better when it's cooler. Sometimes in warmer, hotter climates, it can be a little bit temperamental, but it does work. They also make a powder product, a pod. You can see this one's actually been torn and used. These pods are very, very simple to use. You dump your tank, put you a couple of gallons of water, and you drop one of these pods in your tank, or if you've got a very, very large tank, you can drop 2 in there, and it will break down. Another one that's very, very popular is Happy Camper. I use that too. It kind of depends on what I can find, what's available. Sometimes you find sales and bargains. They're very, very big one. I dump the tank, put maybe hold my foot down, maybe get about a gallon of water started. I put a couple, and I've got very, very large black tanks. I put 2 scoops in mine. If you got smaller black tanks, put 1. Here's what the enzymes do. The enzymes are a natural process that speed up the breaking down of organics, whether it is number 1, number 2, whether it's paper. That's the only thing that you should ever put in your black tank. Never use the disposable wipes, the wet wipes, any of those types of things. They will not break down. They will cause a clog. But anything that's safe to put in there, bodily stuff and RV toilet paper, you can put these enzymes in there. And here, I'll just show you an example. I won't get too much of a close-up, but it just basically looks like, dark brown water. It completely breaks down, and with the use of an elbow, you can literally look at what's coming out, and you can see that RV toilet paper is either stripped up from early use or anything that's been in there before. You might even see some little white dots. Any solids, any bodily solids that are in there are just literally liquefied. And the other big issue about this, people go, well, what about odor? Is that tank going to stink because you're not putting that perfumey stuff in there? I can't stand that perfumey stuff. I think mixing black tank smell with those perfumey, smelly ones, those orange and greens and blues, I think is just absolutely obnoxious. It just can't handle it. Using a natural process with the enzymes, it breaks it down quickly. There's no odor. Look, we've been in Florida. It's been 100 degrees outside, hitting the side of the camper, just hot, 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 hot. No odor. If it gets very, very full, very, very full, and you get ready to flush, sometimes that's telling you, hey, it's time to dump. You might catch just a little bit of odor, but not much. It's not an oppressive type thing. It's time to dump the tanks anyway. These things work great. Now let me share one other thing about taking care of your black tank, and this is going to be the largest tip. Don't use things like bleach, Lysol, antibacterial soaps, ammonia, any of those types of products. Never, ever, ever, ever pour those inside your black tank. Now, I know people are going to come up in comments and go, I use this formula and concoction and I've never had any problems. The calganites and the water softeners and yada, yada, yada. Okay, I just don't do it. I use a natural enzyme process. It breaks down the solids, it breaks down the organics, it breaks down the smells. I have no problem. And people sometimes will say, well, you know, the toilet smells bad. The guys have, you know, missed their target and made a big mess, and now my toilet smells like urine and I need to scrub it. I need to use a scrubber. Do not use a household scrubber. Those things many times have bleach in them. That bleach gets down into the tank. It will kill the enzymes. It will kill that organic process. We use this, it's another unique product. You can get this off of Amazon. It's an RV toilet cleaner. It's safe. It works. It does the trick. You squirt a little bit in the bowl, take your brush, scrub it down, wipe it down with whatever you normally wipe it down in. It will clean out that little ring that sometimes gets organic material around it. It does a good job. And it's safe. It's got an enzyme built into it as well. And it will dissolve anything that's in there, get rid of all the smelly stuff from the guys. You're missing the target. Sorry, guys. But, you know, it will take care of all that, and it'll just do a great job. That is the number one thing, if you watch no more of this video, you should be doing to make sure your RV tank is not scary. Number two, you know, for this stuff to be able to work, the organic material that's in your black tank needs to break down, and the only way that it's going to break down is it needs water. It needs water. Now, I know there are those who boondock and conserve water, and there's some challenges on how much you flush. You know, you do a light flush, and you may be able to get away with it with a good enzyme. What I would do is double up on your enzyme and make sure that you've got enough power in there to be able to break down the solids in the toilet paper. But if you just give that toilet a good flush and get some water in there, enough to clean the bowl properly, you should be fine. But if you don't have enough water in there, there's two things that's going to happen. Number one, the organics are not going to break down. Number two, if the organics don't break down, your tank's going to stink. Just what it is. It needs water. Number three, never leave your black tank open. No, never, ever, ever. This is a hard, fast rule for campers. I cannot tell you how many comments over the time that we've had our channel and our website where people went, I left my gate open for the black tank, and guess what? I have got a wicked, wicked poo dam. And yes, that's exactly what will happen. I could do all kinds of fancy diagrams. Here, I'll just do this. You got a pipe that's about this big around. And as you flush, as that tank gets empty, you're going to have solids, mostly toilet paper, that is going to come and bunch up. Even if you use an RV toilet paper, it's going to bunch, it's going to compact, it's going to bunch, it's going to compact over several days. And then, depending on the climate, if it's hot, especially if it's hot, it's going to bunch up and wad up, and the more that happens, the worse it's going to get. Might not happen on the first dump, may not happen on the second dump. There's going to be a period of time when you're going to get a poo dam. And then the only way that you can get rid of that thing is to do what they call a reverse flush. You've seen these gates that you can use. Here, I'll put a picture here of one. You hook a water hose up to it and you try to blast that dam back into the tank, and then hopefully get enough water to where you can force that thing out. And if your black tank is full, you're going to be in some kind of trouble, because you're going to have to put water in there. And if it's already flowing up at the top of your toilet, you know, you may have some spillage. So you just don't do it. Never leave your black tank open. Now, some people say, I leave my gray tanks open. That's not a problem. That's just water. Just water and soap scum and those types of things. If you're going to be parked somewhere for weeks and weeks and weeks, fine. I do it sometimes, especially if we're going to be parked for a month somewhere. I don't have to go out there, and every time we want to take a long shower, I don't have to worry about dumping the gray tanks. What I will do is a couple days before we're getting ready to leave, I will close those gates so that I can build up enough gray water in those tanks that when I, run the black tank for the last dump before we travel, I can follow up with some gray water to do an extra hard flush and kind of clean out all the plumbing and all that type of stuff as well. But there's not a problem with that. Number 4, gauge indicators can get scummy. Well, they can get scummy. And it doesn't matter whether it's grays or blacks, but blacks are very prone to get kind of scummy over a period of time. Now, I showed you these enzymes. If you use an enzyme, you can typically prolong that. I mean, we've gone as much as a year or two and never had one single gauge indicator get scummed up and give us false readings, just because the enzymes keep that tank extra clean. But then there's once in a while that, even with enzymes, you can get something that's been stuck on there for a period of time, and then it just adds and adds and adds to it. You got to do something to be able to get it off. Well, there's two ways to be able to do that. One is a product. I've got a video on this that I've shown it. This is Unique's RV tank cleaner. This stuff works like a charm. We parked the camper for like a month or so. I must not have given the black tank a good scrub. We have two black tanks, one for the back bedroom, and then we have a mid-span. The mid-span does not have tank scrubbers, and my tank indicators got a little bit off. And all you do is, dump your black tank, pour a whole bottle of this inside your toilet, and fill the tanks up with water, let it sit for 24 hours and dump it, and it scrubbed it out. Now, there have been times that when I had an indicator that got really, really, really bad, and what happens was we had some issues that came up. I must not have cleaned the black tank out really good at a dump, and then the camper sat for about 2 months during a holiday period. And what happened during that period of time, boy, that indicator really got gummed up and then hardened, and I just couldn't get it clean. There is a device called a swivel stick. I'm going to put a link up here where I did that video. Okay, I know I'm going to get comments, Jerry, you didn't have any gloves on when you did the cleaning. I know, I didn't, because I didn't have any that day. What I will assure you is antibacterial soap is a good way to clean your hands if you've got to do a dirty job. And I know there's some of you that's going to go, Jerry, that's nasty. But I had to clean my tank. I had to do it, and I didn't have any gloves. So let's get past that. Let's talk about the swivel stick. The swivel stick is a great device. You hook up a regular water hose to it. You can do this at the campground, or if you've got a way to be able to hook something like a Blue Boy up to the side to where you can work this thing. And this thing bends. If you got a crook in your black tank, you can bend it, and you just turn your water hose on full blast. The more pressure, the better. And you just move that thing up and down in your tank, up and down in your tank, and do that 2 or 3 times. What I did is I did it, got it good and wet, let it sit for a minute just to make sure I got water all over the edges, and I just did that up and down, up and down. Clean sensors, didn't have any more trouble. And that was from our Gateway, and I had our Gateway for about another 6 years after I did that, used my enzymes, made sure that I had a good clean tank, never had another issue. But I could not get those sensors clean to save my life without using a swivel stick. So use that, or if you don't want to go through the enzyme process, that's going to be the only way, and you're probably going to have to do that once a year. You use an enzyme product, you're probably never going to have an indicator problem. Number 5, let's talk about hoses and connectors. I strongly recommend you have 3 hoses. 3 hoses for your black tank. And I know a lot of people go, well, that's a bit extreme. I've never needed one. You've never needed one yet. They're cheap. They're not very, very expensive. I've got 3. I've got 2 of the regular expendable kinds. Here you can see them here in my container, and then I got one of these little flexy wiggly ones in case I need it for whatever particular reason. Here's another example of where we go camping sometimes and we park backwards. They allow us to pull in at a different angle because we've got this big beautiful front yard, and you can see it in this picture here on the right. And what we have to do is we have to run the hoses from one side of the camper up underneath our RV over to the fill area, and we have to do that so we can have that gorgeous view. It's off to the left. It doesn't bother us, doesn't wig us out. We're sitting somewhere else under our awning, so that type of stuff doesn't bother me, that there's the hose. Some campgrounds, your neighbor's hose is in front of you anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's what would have happened in this instance. I would have been back to back with another camper, and I would have seen all their, hoses and things. So, I can get over that. That's not a biggie, but I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have 3 hoses just because of the long run. So that's very, very important to be able to have those 3 hoses. Once a year we may need it. Once a year we may need it, but at least we have it and we can enjoy our space the way we have it. The second thing that you should have, I strongly recommend a clear elbow connector. Here's an example of one that we've been using for a long time. They last forever, just about. They do have a little O-ring in them and they can leak, but I have not had that happen in this one, and I've had it for years. I'm going to put links for all this stuff. If you don't have those and you're not sure where to buy them, I'll show you in today's description of the YouTube, and at ilovervlife.com you'll see a list of all these items that I've been talking about. So if you want to be able to get them, you can help out the channel a little bit. If not, you can buy them at Walmart or Amazon, wherever you can find them. It's okay. But the big thing about this elbow, you want to put it right where the gate is, right where the dump area is. And when you pull that handle, you want to be able to see the grays and the blacks whoosh. You want to really be able to see them come out. The other thing you want to see too is if for some reason you're getting a lot of solid matter. If you're getting a lot of solid matter, you may not be using enough enzyme. You've got, a bigger tank than what you think, and you may need to double up on your enzyme to be able to break it down quickly. And if it's like a family of 4 or a family of 6, you definitely want to be able to do that, because everybody's using that a lot. You're having to, dump it every 3 or 4 days instead of every week to 10 days, depending on the size of your tank. So you want to be able to have that elbow to make sure that everything is clearing. And if you pull that black tank thing, that handle, and not much is happening, guess what? You just got a poo dam from something, and that's a pretty scary sight. So you're going to have to block that thing loose. I strongly recommend using an elbow. And the third thing that I would also recommend is one of these black tank hose. I call them a hose bridge. They've got a number of different names. These things are great. These things are great. What it does is it elevates that hose at a great angle down to where you're dumping, especially if you're in an uneven area or you've got a long shot. I see people who just won't buy one of these. They're cheap, they're inexpensive. I've had this one for 7 or 8 years. Still works like a charm. It's been blown over in storms. It's gone through a lot, and it still works, and it's a great item. What this prevents you from doing is you and your significant other out there doing what I call the stinky slinky dance. You know what I'm talking about if you don't have one of these or you watch people do it. They dump the tank and they get everything out. Everybody's out there grabbing the tank and, moving it up and down and doing what I call the stinky slinky dance. So get you one of those bridges and it'll make things go much better. You get your 3 hoses, you get that clear angle connector. It's going to help you manage that black tank. Number 6, I call this the 5-gallon bucket method. We have a mid-span bathroom. And there's others of us who travel out there who do not have those tank scrubbers where you hook up the water hose and you can hear the racket where it's actually got jets shooting inside the tank, and it's going to give you some positive water pressure to be able to kind of flush that tank out and get all the scum out of the bottom. Well, where this becomes very, very important is if you're going out and then you're going to be parking the camper for months, a month or more, and it's going to be sitting there and you don't have one of these scrubbers, and you're going to have scum. You just are. You're going to have scum that's going to build up on the tank. If you were to look at your black tank is going to be like here, the side of it, and your valve is going to be maybe a couple inches up above where the tank is at. And that's just so that they can get a positive connection to be able to connect everything together and make sure that they don't tear the tank, etc. And because of that little bit of space in there, you're going to get this thick, gummy scum. It's going to be an organic scum that's going to build up in there, and you need a way to be able to flush that out. And I call it the 5-gallon bucket method. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, get you one of those big 5-gallon buckets, fill that son of a gun full of water, hit your foot, once you dump your tank, hit your foot on that toilet, and then as quickly as you can pour it in there without overflowing, rush a lot of water in that tank. You may have to do it once, you may have to do it twice, you may have to do it 3 times. But have somebody watch that clear elbow that we talked about, and you can just literally see syrup come out. And I'm trying not to be too graphic here, but you can see it come out and you can clean that junk out of there. If you do not do that, over time, that will build up, get hard. I've talked to RV techs. I was talking down at Lazy Days about a year ago, and the guy had just come back from a black tank repair, and he said it was just like concrete in the bottom of it, and it was the biggest mess, and they just literally told the client, we're not cleaning it out, we're just going to replace the black tank. It has just been in here too long, and we're just going to consider this a loss, and it was a very, very expensive repair. You do this, they're going to have a problem. Number 7, where do you store all those hoses? Well, I store all my hoses because I've got 3 of them. I store those in one of these containers. Here, you can see it right here. I have all my containers that are in here. And, I've got my elbows, and I've got all my different adapters and rings and hoses inside this big tub. And I just slide it here into the carrier, and I seal it. This one seals up really good. It's got the little latches on the side. I've seen those tubes that are up underneath the bottom of the camper. Those are really, really cool. I like those a lot. Unfortunately, I can't get all of my 3 hoses in one of those. And the tub method works fine. I don't have any problem with it whatsoever. It is a great addition. Number 8, well, how do I manage the odor in that storage container? Well, that's a great question. How do you manage the odor? Well, it doesn't matter whether you're using one of these storage containers or you're using the tube up underneath. Those hoses can get a little stinky over time. I like to use that stuff. I think they call it Fabuloso. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's the detergent bottle that is purple. Some people call it the purple stuff. It's got a very, very pleasant odor. I've got a spray bottle. When I get through using my black tank, now let's talk about this. I'm not spraying this in my black tank. I'm only spraying this in the hose. When I get through, I pull up that hose on both ends. I give me a good squirt on both sides, both ends, put that in the tank. And before I close the lid, I just give the whole area a nice little spray. I have no odor in this container. Well, other than that little pleasant Fabuloso purple stuff. Smells pretty good. Number 9, this is the last one. A week or more you're camping and you're in a state park or a Corps of Engineer or something like that. You're out boondocking somewhere. And the black tank's full, and you don't want to hook up and haul off your material from the black and gray tank somewhere. That's an easy fix. I used to call these blue boys from a long time ago. There's several manufacturers of these devices. Here's mine. This one has served me very, very well. It's several years old. We don't have to use it all the time, but when we do need to use it, it's fantastic. You can hook it up behind the truck, pull it carefully to your location, or if you're in a nice flat spot. We were down in Savannah, and from where we were located in our water and electric only spot, I could literally walk it down to the place, dump it, bring it back. We could keep on going. These things are awesome. There's a couple different manufacturers of these. We can go for a week, maybe 10 days without dumping. So if we're not, if we're in a location, usually we can get by without one of these. But there's a lot of times we do 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And this device is just absolutely wonderful to be able to have. I don't have to unhook or hook up to the fifth wheel, haul it over, dump it, haul it back. Man, what a pain. And I can just take this device. They're a little pricey, but they're worth every penny if you do a lot of camping or you're planning to do a lot of camping in areas where you only have water and electric. Get you a Blue Boy. You'll just love these things. They're fantastic. Well, that's my 9 items, but I do want to talk about a couple other things. I know I'm going to get this comment every time I talk about black tanks or enzymes or something like that. Somebody always says, I use a trash can method. I'm just not going to do it. You don't know what that is? Let me share it with you. It's real popular with the boondocking crowd. They take that toilet paper after they use it and they put it in a trash can. And then they dump that trash can once a week or whatever. Joan is not going to go for that. I'm not going to go for that. I just don't think it's necessary. I understand if you're a boondocker, you're doing something for a long period of time, you're trying to save as much water as possible. You're going to take every step that you can to be able to maintain your stay. And so I understand it. I'm just not going to do it. And then I have other people that says I'm terrified about putting paper in my black tank. Well, if you use an RV marine paper and use the Scots that I talked about, you're not going to have an issue. If you use a good enzyme, you're not going to have an issue. And I'm just not going to put my toilet paper in a trash can. I'm just not going to do it. Now let me talk one other thing. Maybe this is a little bonus one. This is the last item. Gray tanks. We didn't hardly mention the gray tanks whatsoever. This is more so in the kitchen, but you can have some issues with the shower, tank as well. We've got a tank for the kitchen. We've got a tank for the bathroom, for the shower and the sink and those types of things. And some only just have one gray tank where the shower and the kitchen are both served by that. Here's what's going to happen over time. and it can happen kind of quickly, especially in the kitchen. You're going to wash pots, you're going to get some grease in it, you're going to get food particles and things like that, and that can build up, and a number of things can happen. You can get food naps that are going to come down from your vents up in the top if they get in there, and you can have a colony of those that can build up over time. It can get pretty smelly, pretty rotten, pretty awful. Look, you can use something like the Happy Camper that I was talking about. There you go. You can use that. Put that in like a solo cup and just kind of stir it up really good so that it'll go with some water, so it'll go down through the trap really well and just run you some extra water. Or you can use something like the Unique, like I was sharing with you earlier. You can pour some of that in there. I do it once a month. Once a month seems to do well for us. If we're traveling heavy, I put that in there. It's going to just dissolve anything that's in there, especially the grease and so forth. It'll keep those sensors working well. And just a good tip that I can suggest about your gray tank as well. Don't fear the RV black tank. It's not scary. If you treat it right, it'll treat you right. I hope you have found these tips very, very helpful. They have served us well for almost 10 years. Share stuff like this for one reason. I like being able to help folks, but above and beyond that, it's because I love RV life. See you soon in the campground.